I honestly think the moment that Hestia finds Seer, everything's gonna get revealed. I think they're purposely keeping these two separate. I think Hestia is gonna know exactly who Seer is, and that's why we keep kind of dragging this out. She said before, I've never seen this girl. I know that she makes those lunches, and I wanted to go see who she was, and I've never seen her before. And right here, she's trying to chase them down in this whole like date situation, and she's still not seeing her. Like Ai's is seeing her, and she's munching down all those potatoes. It was Eyes jealous? Was that a jealous moment from Eyes? I think we've seen her jealous before. I can't remember, but I think that was a jealous eating kind of moment there. Seer was obviously pouring it on right in front of her. She knows damn well that Belle likes her, admires her. But yeah, really solid episode, despite the fact that it was all the date training and the date itself. Honestly, when I watched the PV and I seen those segments, I was like, God, this might be a boring season. But I think they did a good job of kind of sprinkling all these little goofy moments and, yes, kind of sprinkling in a little bit of intrigue around Seer. I think the key points for this episode is obviously the very beginning for Seer and the idea that, yes, it's pretty much laying it out as a competition. He's like, hey, you're doing this as a competition. Do you actually think she'll win? Are you rooting for her? No, everything's for you. I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of establishing that each one of these individuals within Freya's familia, they all are on one side or the other. Well, they're all on Freya's side. I think most every single one of them is on Freya's side in this competition that they created, that she's wanting to create she's giving her a chance, giving Seer a chance. But there's one individual, Hedden. I think Hedden's the only one in that familia that actually wants Seer to win. I think he really likes her and really wants to support her. Now, is it because he's related to her? He's part of her actual family, like related in some way, like a brother or something like that. There's got to be a reason why he's pushing so hard to train Belle and to make this date great. And even at that moment where they actually pop into them at some point, it's almost like calling him out, like, what are you doing, Hedden? Like, nobody else knew that he was training Belle, and he wanted Belle to do a really good job with this. So I think Hedden himself, I don't think necessarily that he's working against Freya. It's just more of I think that he's trying to look out for Seer in some way. He wants her to be happy, and so that's why he's gone way out of his way to be Belle's Shisho. He's become Belle's Shisho. Like, at some point, Belle's like, yeah, Master taught me really well. Like, at some point, even though he was suffering through this whole ordeal, at some point, he gained some massive respect for Hedden. Like, this dude helped me out. He made it to where I was really good at this, which was great. This entire episode, it really did feel like Belle completely different. I really was wondering when Seer was going to say something. I'm like, I would assume this is going to be one of those things where at some point the girl says, you're not the one that I wanted to date. Like, you're acting different. I like that she's like, I like all this stuff. You're making me very happy. You told me that I'm cute in this, and you've done all this other stuff. It's just, I was hoping that at some point, I would grab your hand first and it would fluster you. She wanted to see Belle, the dungeon freak, the one that just loves thinking about the dungeon all the time. Everybody has made comments about that. He is just a dungeon diving freak. All they can think about is that. He eats, breathe, and sleep dungeon and Hestia. Well, let's face it, his obsession with the dungeon is because Hestia, but he's a dungeon freak. But yeah, that was kind of funny there. But yeah, like I said, he does kind of establish there's kind of factions here, and it's mostly just Hedden is trying to support her. And again, I'll be curious to see exactly what that is. But additionally, at some point later on the episode, we did see Hermes very briefly, and I might be drawing too much out of this, but he said something to the effect of, it's Belle with Seer of all people. Is this okay? And that could be that Hermes sees that, yes, again, Seer is somebody special. Maybe it's just the goddesses and the gods are the only ones that actually know that Seer is special. And so when he sees Seer, he's like, is this okay? I mean, because that's been my kind of question mark that I've had for a while now of why Freya is so obsessed with Belle. Like, what is special about Belle? We know that he is related to a god in some way. So it could just be the fact that maybe Freya wants to have Belle and, yes, have his children or whatever. And yes, Seer in that situation would be an equal opportunity there. And maybe the idea of Belle being with any of them might be a massive question mark. Or it could just be simply that, yes, Hermes knows that Hestia really likes Belle, and the idea of him being with Seer, and yes, the idea that there's supposed to be this unspoken rule not to date him, maybe he's just like, what shenanigans going to come from this? Like, whose head's going to roll for this? When are the women going to be running down the street in a couple seconds, all screaming, "Why is somebody dating Belle?" It could be any of those situations there, but I don't know. And yes, seeing throughout the episode, finally showing that yes, everybody's kind of watching her, making sure she's safe. There's all these guards everywhere. A lot of them look like they are a little on edge. They're hot in the collar, I think I said that they translated it. But yes, at the very end, having finally, Seer says, take me and run. Like, kidnap me, get me out of here. I want to get away from this stuff. And yes, obviously implying this idea that she's been under watch. She can't be herself, which does make me kind of wonder if he does run off with her somewhere. Are we going to get to see a different side of her? There's like this thought process that, yeah, this whole time she's been super timid. She's playing her role. She goes up to Freya, all nice and dressed up. Please give me a chance at Belle. Let me try this, please. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll give you a chance. But if you get revealed, it's all over. That's fine. Yes, fine. Hanging around Belle, being nice and timid. And the moment that he kidnaps her and takes her off somewhere, like I said, she's going to show her true colors. And suddenly she's just like an absolute psychopath. Or I don't know, maybe she's more bubbly, more fun. I guess that's probably what it's going to turn into. But the truth is, I've never had the time to truly be myself. Which sucks. Again, my thought process that she's some sort of goddess that has been sort of kept under wraps. And based on the conversations they had in this episode about the Towers of Fertility and the whole festival itself, and the idea that, yes, obviously, Lady Ishtar's gone now. She caused a lot of problems. They used to have 5 of these goddesses. Now, I think they only have 4 at this point. Assumption there. And maybe there's a possibility that Seer is supposed to take that position where Ishtar was. Maybe she's going to take that 5th tower. Or do they need 5 towers? Again, my all around is more in the idea that possibly Freya and Seer is connected somehow as sort of a clone or something like that. But we'll see there. We'll see what she's tied into and what the reveal is going to be. And again, I'm assuming at this point what's going to happen is Belle's going to run off with Seer. Everybody's going to be looking for them. The guards are going to be going crazy. Belle's probably going to have to fight a lot of the guards. And then eventually at some point, I think Hestia is going to spot her and everything's going to get revealed at that point. Or it could just simply be Belle questioning the guards and fighting them and trying to get it from them. But I don't think that they would divulge that. I think it's going to be somebody is finally going to show up and say, okay, here's the real truth. But we'll see. We'll see. But the rest of the episode was fun. Like I said, they did a good job kind of sprinkling in some fun moments throughout the episode. Just Hestia herself, the cute little outfit, her cute little maid outfit, just running around trying to find them, runs into Eyes and immediately takes one of her potatoes and chomps it down and says, "We're going." Eyes wallowed, "What's it? We're going. We got to chase them down. What the hell are you doing, girl?" And then Eyes is just like, "Okay." And he falls after her. Again, I'm not sure if Eyes is jealous. I don't think she's ever really kind of shown that I remember, but it was kind of funny. Yeah, a brief moment of Daphne and Cassandra, which interesting to see Cassandra kind of thrown through a loop by Belle and his charming nature. I've always seen Cassandra as being like super thirsty for Daphne, so to kind of see her being flustered over Belle. I dreamed that a rabbit was going to lick my cheek. That was dorky. I think everything around Belle being like super charming, him going down the dungeon and saving some girls and being super charming, and all these girls are getting all flustered by him. It was a goofy, fun little new side of Belle that we've never seen before, and I think they pulled it off really well. I think his suave personality was really fun. Now, the moment that Hidden like enlisted him, I got a kick out of the whole scene, the first scene with him and Hidden, and the idea that like he's just like laying it in the fact that you should think of nobody but Seer. And it's like I got this whole mental image of like a chat conversation that you'd have like on Discord or something like that, where you say what your best girl is, and suddenly somebody just shows up and says, "Shut up! You should only think about my favorite one." But no, he sends a letter to Hestia to say, "For the sake of the Familia, to protect it," because Hedden said that he's going to destroy the Familia. "To protect it, I'm going to do this. By the way, please save me." "I'll handle this. Don't worry. I'm not coming home. I have to protect the Familia. Help me." It's just great. And then later on, he's doing like his little practices in front of the mirror, and he's like, "Hello, Seer. How are you doing, Seer? Seer, please save me." It's always like he slips himself out. After they got the letter, everybody responds to it differently. Wilf's like, wait, does he want us to save him or not? You have Haruhime's over here going, "I knew that letter was bad. That love letter, I knew it was going to be bad." Immediately, Lily's like, "I got to go get a search party going." The difference in responses is great. I have to say, though, I am really liking this new norm. Like, every single episode, for some reason, we have to have cat girl fan service moment. Like, it does feel like the fan service of this series is very, very subtle. It's like it barely ever happens. It's very rare. But like for some reason, the last 2 episodes have been nothing but let's have one scene at least where the maid cat girls have to be changing. And I'm for it. I'm for it. Anyhow, overall, really solid episode. Really, really enjoy it. I'm actually liking this season a lot more than I typically do for this series. I mean, again, I really liked the last season, but that was more because it got really serious. It was really brutal, and it was just a lot of fun. But my gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm in the mood for it. Maybe I'm just in the mood for the shenanigan stuff. And plus, we're getting more Hestia. We're getting a lot more characters that typically, unfortunately, kind of get pushed to the back because we're always in the dungeon. But I'm loving it so far. Cannot wait for more. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did, hit that like button down below, comment. Let me know what's on the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get my content. I do news reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. If you like this content and you want to support channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate what it does. And until next time, I'll take care.